Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, a look at how the war in Iran is impacting volatility on Wall Street. Also tonight, the Arizona Cardinals look to help give students a year-round civics education. And a new documentary features the Joy Bus, a local nonprofit that delivers meals to cancer patients. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. It was another positive day on Wall Street with the Dow closing up 276 points, the Nasdaq up 187 points, and the S&P 41 points to the better. This follows yesterday's massive rally that saw the Dow with its biggest increase in a year. How much is the war in Iran impacting the recent highs and lows on Wall Street? Joining us now is Jay Spector, founding partner and co-CEO of Everest Financial. Jay, good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ted. Pleasure to be with you.
You know, we got the numbers today. The numbers yesterday were outrageous. A 1,300-point advancement for the Dow. That's the biggest in a year. Again, Nasdaq, S&P, all showing up after a really rough month in the rearview mirror. How much is the war in Iran, the Strait of Hormuz, is that driving the bus here?
Absolutely, Ted. That is what's driving the market right now. It is completely being, the volatility is incredible. It's completely being driven by this geopolitical event that's going on in the Middle East. That's what we are seeing, and the market is swinging both up and down based on what we are seeing coming out of the war zone.
And yet, I was also seeing that oil prices, they're pushing a little bit lower. That's good. Gas prices are pushing a little bit higher. Not so good. What's that all about?
Yeah, so when you see the gas prices or the futures on oil, those are future delivery contracts of oil coming from the U.S. or from the Middle East. When you see there's a lag with gas prices that we see at the pump. Oil prices are spiking, and there's a lot of volatility in oil prices because of the Strait of Hormuz closure. 20% of the world's crude oil comes through that narrow passage, and you're not seeing many ships coming through, even with the recent announcement of a ceasefire and a proposed deal to open the strait. You're only seeing primarily dry cargo tankers and freighters going through the state, not the more volatile crude and other chemicals that could be attacked and cause issues. So we're still not seeing relief on the crude oil part, which then would translate into relief at the pump for consumers.
And yet we are seeing relief as far as Wall Street is concerned. Are the markets getting better at figuring out President Trump's next move?
You know, that is a great question. I think the markets are moving on the hope that there's going to be a long-term ceasefire deal. But as soon as there is some detrimental information, or they're seeing a break in a ceasefire or a break in continued hostilities, you are seeing the market react to that. It is being very reactionary. This is not an economic issue that we're seeing in the markets. This is geopolitical tensions that are driving the day-to-day action in the market.
So which markets are handling things the best? You got your Dow, and you got your S&P, and you got your Nasdaq. Where does it seem like people have the best idea what's going on?
Yeah, all of the markets are somewhat moving in tandem. We've seen a huge spike in interest rates. Interest rates have on the 10-year Treasury in particular, have increased to well above 4.3%, settling in the mid 420s right now. You've seen the Dow Jones, which had that massive 1,300-point move the other day. Remember, the Dow Jones average is only 30 stocks, so that doesn't really represent the width and breadth of the market. The S&P 500 is a broader index of 500 stocks, and the NASDAQ 100 is 100 technology stocks. So you have to look at all of those in context. You need to look at the bond market. You can also look to see where safe haven assets like gold and silver are trading, along with other commodities that people are focused on.
Yeah, I want to get to what people should look for as far as retirement accounts and equities and these sorts of things. But as far as stocks are concerned and the market, are energy stocks, are they feeling the I mean, where do you go? Where do you not go? It seems like energy stocks might be the place not to go right now, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think investors need to be focused on what their long-term plan is. the short-term volatility is going to happen. It's going to be there. It's going to be pervasive. But folks, investors, retirees need to focus on being disciplined, being focused on their long-term plan, not the short-term global economic impact or the global war impact on what's happening in the market. It's too volatile to try to navigate and pick winners and losers. People need to focus on, again, what their long-term strategy is and what their goals are.
And yet right now, do you see yesterday and today as a strong base for the future, or is volatility? It sounds to me like you're thinking volatility is still very much likely.
I think volatility is very much likely. That piece or what we're seeing coming out of Iran with the U.S., I think that is very fragile. And I think we're going to see any blip can cause the market to go down 1,000 points. It can cause it to go up 1,000 points. And I think that's going to be pervasive for the next several months. And don't forget, we're also in an election year. So you have some electioneering and politics that also come into play with this that'll have an impact on the market. The markets want certainty, and we have anything but certainty right now.
And you touched on this, but I want to hear more about equities and retirement accounts. Do you, again, you stay the course? I mean, we always hear this, but my goodness, the course is awfully bouncy right now. I mean, what do you tell folks that are looking at their 401ks and they don't know whether it's going this way, that way, or some point in between?
The one word is discipline. It's also it's time in the market, not timing the market. So we want to make sure that investors stay focused, stay disciplined on what their goals are. That's going to drive them to more longer term success. If you decide to go to cash and you miss what could be the recovery day, you've really missed a good opportunity for your portfolio. It's also very hard to time what is going on any given day, any given minute in the market. So it's better to stay the course with your plan and continue to be disciplined moving forward.
You talked about the bond market here. As far as interest rates are concerned, are we likely to see the Fed do something by the end of the year, and how does that play into all this?
Yeah, that's another great question that's on everybody's mind. So inflation is still high. If oil prices remain high, that could continue to cause inflation to be high. If inflation continues to be high, then the Fed is going to have to keep interest rates at a higher level. And if the Fed has to keep interest rates at a higher level, that's going to have some other detrimental impacts to the overall U.S. economy. I believe the U.S. is more resilient than some of our international partners. But when it comes to interest rates, I think it has a snowball effect. This war in Iran is going to have a detrimental effect on the overall U.S. economy. If oil stays high, gas stays high, consumers lose confidence in what's going on, causing rates to be higher for longer.
And bottom line, Jay, volatility, the new normal.
Volatility has been the new normal and will continue to be the normal for the weeks and months to come.
All right, Jay Spector, co-CEO, founding partner of EverVest. Good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ted. Nice to see you.
Jack!
A cemetery worker was murdered.
So what are you thinking?
Who's in there?
He disturbed a would-be grave robber?
The door was locked. And there's no sign of disturbance to the tomb.
There's a splash of blood on the inside edge here.
There was no sign of theft.
Whoever it was locked the door behind them after they left.
The only reason to hasten his death would be to stop his quest for the truth.
Saturday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
It's about to go down.
The wildlife just take over.
The age of discovery is now.
It's a journey like no other.
Everyone is getting involved in this.
You'll see a kaleidoscope of color. It's like magic.
My hands are shaking.
I think I just fell in love.
Ever wonder what today's workforce looks like and how to prepare the next generation? Your local public media station and American Graduate Jobs Explained are here to break it all down on the most popular social media platforms. Real people, real jobs, from trades and healthcare to hospitality, tech, and more. Explore local opportunities for a brighter and more profitable tomorrow.
I'm talking high-paying, interesting jobs just waiting for you.
American Graduate Jobs Explained. Visit jobsexplained.org to learn more.
A program called Civics Matters Arizona is an effort by the Arizona Cardinals to help give students a year-round civics education. The goal is to empower young people to lead, serve, and shape the future of American democracy. And to learn more, we welcome Sean Mayo. He leads the Cardinals Civics Matters team. Sean, good to have you here. Welcome to Arizona Horizon.
Thanks for having us.
Civics Matters Arizona. Am I close there with that description?
You're there. That's it.
Tell me more.
Yeah. So, this is a brainchild of Michael Bidwell's about 5 years ago now. Started to think about how do we use our assets to do good in the community, right? I've always done that. We acquired some new assets, one being a plane, and wanted to figure out how do we pour into our youth, help them be more engaged citizens, how do we empower them through civics education and responsible citizenship. And so almost 5 years ago, we took our first 275 students to Washington, D.C. on an all-expense paid trip to really get up close and personal, see how government works, with the hope to empower them, inspire them to come back and get really involved locally and make a difference in their local communities.
These are 6th through 12th graders?
The trip itself takes primarily high school kids.
Okay.
This last year, we recently expanded to a more year-round program where we think about Civics Matters Arizona in really 3 distinct pillars. We've got a civics learning hub that is targeting 6th through 12th graders. We had our first inaugural Civics Summit this year with 4,500 students over at State Farm Stadium. Think of it as a civics fair, civics seminar, civics conference, if you will. And then we've got our civics trip that we'll continue to do every year in June in collaboration with the governor's office as well as the Close Up Foundation.
And again, this is civics. We talk a lot about this on this show, especially Justice Sanity O'Connor. She was very much a big part of that and that push. But the idea is to empower folks and to realize that civics is more than just the politicians they see doing campaign commercials and stuff. It's getting involved.
That's absolutely right? And that's a lot about it, right? Teaching students how to use their voice, how to get involved, how to be engaged, and how to move beyond just what they're learning in the classroom to take meaningful action in their local communities.
Yeah, we're seeing some of the folks there back in Washington and meeting, obviously, congressional and folks on Capitol Hill. How does it all work? I mean, what do students do? Besides the great plane trip to D.C., what do students do?
Yeah, so I'll break down the 3 pillars and talk a little bit about those. So our Civics Learning Hub, that'll eventually have about 5 different modules, interactive modules, where we encourage students to get involved there, and they get some meaningful choice that they get to do, playing out real life scenarios where they can have a voice. And so we tie that in with some historical elements so that they can understand, like, this isn't new, right? And so that's our Civics Learning Hub. Lots of partners helping to make that happen, including Arizona PBS here. And so that really helps drive the learning piece. 6th through 12th graders at its completion, 5 modules, lots of students involved there.
And the State Summit.
The summit. So that session, think of it, we did a bunch of main sessions, 4,500 students, civics fair, a lot of civics partners in the space come out to table and get students interested in the things that they have to offer. So think of that civic summit as a convener of all the civics people in Arizona that's doing great work. We don't want to be the experts in all things civics. We want to use our platform to attract those that want to learn more about civics. And so they come there, they go through a few different sessions, and then go back and try to put that into play. And then you got the trip, right? You're seeing some video there from the trip. So we go to Washington, D.C., 4 days, 3 nights, and tour Washington, D.C., and look at all the cool monuments, but also learn, right? Students are broken down in little small sections, and they have an instructor with them the entire time.
Is the trip to D.C., isn't there some sort of challenge involved there?
There is.
You have to earn that trip,
They do have to earn that trip. So there is a leadership challenge that we do. So think about tying this back into that Civics Learning Hub. They complete a couple modules, and then they get an opportunity to produce some content, either written, video, or audio form, where they answer a couple of different prompts that we have about how they can get involved within their local communities.
Why is this needed? Compare this to traditional civics education.
Yeah, I think it's a couple different things, right? Like, we believe fundamentally that as the platform that we have here locally, that we have an obligation to help develop the next generation of leaders for not only Arizona but for this country. And so how can we do that? How can we use our platform, and how can we help people understand that it moves just beyond voting and running for office and things of that nature? And so teaching them ways to not only, again, think about civic education differently, but how do we become responsible citizenships? And so we tie in some pretty cool things from some of our partners that help make this happen. You know, Desert Financial's a big partner of ours here. Gallagher's a big partner of ours here that helps to tie it in. So how do we help round out students to be really engaged citizens, understand how the civic process works, but also come out on the other end being responsible citizens?
And I would imagine the Cardinals logo it helps, doesn't it? I
It
mean,
does, and that's a
gets their
part of it, right? It's to
doesn't it?
create that platform, right?
Yeah.
To grab their attention and then pull in all of our great, civics education partners that can help deliver the content.
Last question here. Are schools on board with this? How many schools? Are all schools? Most schools? What do you got?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got quite a few schools. We're up to about 80 schools now that are engaged across Arizona. I was looking at some numbers earlier. I think at this point we've probably engaged with close to about 10,000 students across our 5 years and with our summit this year. And so we've got a pretty aggressive goal to really try to get our arms around all 6th through 12th graders in Arizona to get them engaged in this program.
Sean Mayo, you're the Cardinals' Chief People Officer. Is that true?
That is very true.
Congratulations. I don't even know what a Chief People Officer does.
All things HR. So,
okay,
yeah,
very good.
All things HR.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing on this, and congratulations to the Cardinals on a great project. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
A new documentary follows the Joy Bus, a local nonprofit that delivers free, medically tailored meals to cancer patients. The film is titled Meals That Matter, and it's an official selection of the 2026 Phoenix Film Festival. Jennifer Caraway is the founder and CEO of the Joy Bus, and also with us is filmmaker Stepan Alipovich, who directed and produced the project. Boy, good to have you both here. Thanks. Congratulations on this project, too, by the way. Jennifer, I want to start with you because maybe there might be some people out there that don't really know what the Joy Bus is all about. Talk to us.
Yeah, so we've been in the Valley for over 16 years now, and what we do is we prepare and deliver fresh, medically tailored meals to homebound cancer patients. We have about 200 and something volunteers who show up every week and pick up the meals and take them to the client's home.
And how many meals do you think you deliver over the course of a year?
Holy cow. Well, to give you an example, we did 1,800 yesterday.
Whoa.
Yeah, and we include the caretaker as well, the caregiver as well, and the family and the children if they need meals as well.
And again, these are all specifically designed for that cancer patient.
Real food. We work with local partners that include farmers and ranchers that we get all of that food donated, and that's what we make the meals with.
Stepan, you made a film of this activity, which is just tremendous, and we've had you on before to talk about this. But you decided to make a film. What was that all about?
Yeah, I think, for us, the goal was never to make a film about cancer, but to make a film about care and what that looks like during one of the most uncertain periods of someone's life.
And what were you looking to show?
I think for me, one of the things that came out was watching the meal process unfold. Everything is done with intention, from the kitchen prep line to the volunteers coming in to the recipients receiving the meals.
Yeah, and as far as that, there's a lot. I would imagine there's a lot to shoot, a lot of information to get in there. How did you decide what to include and what to emphasize?
Yeah, I think, for us, that was the kind of the dilemma you face with every project coming in. But it was really about the patients. We wanted these to be honest stories to really show the weight behind the Joy Bus's mission.
Yeah, and Jennifer, when you saw the film, when you envisioned the film, when you heard about the film, and then you actually saw it, was it what you expected?
It was way better than I expected. I was a bit hesitant in the beginning because I didn't want, I wanted to be respectful of their stories, and the way that he shot it, the way that he spoke, it was, I was just bawling. It was beautiful. It gave our clients an outlet to be able to express what they're going through and highlight and showcase them as humans, and he's amazing. He did an amazing job.
Were there any surprises along the way?
One thing I think that came out a lot in the film was that oftentimes the people navigating cancer, sometimes the only conversation they're having outside of a medical setting is with a Joy Bus volunteer or driver. And I think that just was a real powerful human moment that comes out in the film.
But that's also what you were talking about, the emphasis of the film, not the illness itself, but the human connection.
Correct. Yeah, that's what it's about, the relationships. I think in a time when we feel incredibly disconnected for so many reasons, the Joy Bus is a shining example of what community and being there for your neighbor could look like.
For the film, though, was it difficult to get past the illness?
Absolutely. I think with anytime you're dealing with a subject like this, it's all about earning trust, right? We have to move at the level of comfort of the subjects we're working with. Beyond any production skill, it just required patience.
Yeah, was it difficult, Jennifer, to get some of these folks to appear on camera?
No, they wanted to share their story, which was my biggest surprise, and which is why I was so hesitant. I didn't want to push anyone in front of the camera. They were so willing to share their journey.
This is very personal stuff here.
Extremely. Extremely.
And when they saw the film, or at least some of the folks in the film, have they seen it so far?
Yes.
What was their response?
Worse than mine. We could just ugly cry together. It's beautiful. He did an amazing job.
You wanted to honor dignity. I saw that quote. You want to honor dignity with this film. What does that mean?
I think going back to what we said earlier, it was about showing care and, again, working with your neighbor. And in a time when things just feel uncertain, being able to rely on a meal or a conversation, it can really make or break someone's day, especially when they're going through chemo and everything else they're going through.
And you also mentioned that you want to build trust through intentional storytelling. What does that mean?
Yeah, for us, it just meant, keeping the conversations honest. There wasn't a lot of glitz and glamour to the documentary. It's an honest story heard from the clients. So the Joy Bus is a big part of it, but it's really about the care that they're getting each week and while they're getting the meals.
Yeah, and Jennifer, we've had you on for the restaurant and for the cookbook and everything like that. How are things going for the Joy Bus?
Oh, they're going great. We literally, in the past 9 months, have gone from 250 meals delivered per week to upwards of 1,800 in a week. So we're growing. The goal is to be all the way down South Tucson up to the reservation in northern Arizona within the next couple of years. There's no stopping us.
And you have a restaurant.
We do.
How's the restaurant doing?
The restaurant is doing fantastic, and anytime we're on PBS, it does even better.
Oh, really?
Yes, so thank you.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm so glad to hear that, and I'm glad to hear as well, 2026 selection for the Phoenix Film Festival, huh?
That's right. Yeah, we're incredibly excited. It'll be screening on April 11th, 14th, and 18th in the Arizona Shorts C category. It's taking place at Harkins 101 Scottsdale.
What's it, like a 21-minute film?
22 minutes.
22 minutes, okay. Can I ask you a kind of a techie question?
Of course.
Did you shoot it on a cell phone? Did you shoot it on a reflex camera? How did you shoot this?
Sure, we're gonna get into the logistics.
Yeah.
We shot it on Canon cinema cameras, yeah.
And is that the way people do things these days?
I can't speak for everybody, but it's what we use in our client work, and so it was a natural fit to do in the documentary with the Joy Bus.
And we should mention you're local, based here in town.
Yes.
You're a Cronkite graduate?
That's right.
Wow,
yep, proud
Cronkite
alum.
done good, huh?
Absolutely.
Very good.
Special place in my heart.
All right. If people want to watch this, Jennifer, where do they? Obviously the film festival. Where can we see this?
Right now, just at the film festival. It's premiering on Saturday.
It's premiere Saturday?
Yes.
And then can we see it somewhere?
Yes, yeah. The plan is we're going to do another Joy Bus community event with everybody who was involved, and then following that, we'll have it on the Joy Bus YouTube channel, social channels, etc.
Stefan, Jennifer, thank you both for being here, sharing your story, and congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bet.
It's an honor.
That's it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
When you want to be more inspired, Arizona PBS delivers unforgettable experiences in music, theater, and the arts, thanks to members like you. And
Arizona Theater Company at Tempe Center for the Arts presents The Roommate.